Good morning. I'm in my vacation Bible school tie and jacket, and I'm going to look at the scriptures in a minute or two, but I want to take a moment and mention VBS. Um, One of our staff members mentioned not long ago, it was another guy, a pastor in our area, and he happened to be around when we were doing VBS. And he said, "You're wearing the same jacket you wore when I was a kid in vacation Bible school." And I said, "Yes, but now it's a slim fit." And but this somewhere along the way, I got this bright blue jacket, and I got my Winnie the Pooh tie. I think this is the second tie. I had a different tie, a Disney tie, and something happened to it. And well, I'm glad to get rid of Disney, and I'll put, I don't know, Pooh might be Disney for all I know. But anyway, that's why I'm dressed where I am. So this is a pre-recorded morning moments. I'm in a break in between Vacation Bible School. I open the Vacation Bible School singing some skits and fun with we have some special characters. Fooey Dini, an old timer. Old timer's been at 101 Bible schools. We have Pee Wee. He's at his first Bible school. He's 4 years old. And Silly Sally, we've got her there. And then Fooey Dini is the world's worst magician. And but we do some fun, and then we dismiss the kids to classes all over, and then get back. And I sing some with the kids, and then get a chance to goof off a little bit with them, and then send them home. And it's the one time during the year that I get some exclusive time with the children. And a lot of the church families, kids that come Sunday night, the kids hear me preach, but it's in an adult environment. Wednesday night we have a kids class, and Sunday morning the kids are in junior church or children's church or Sunday school. And so really the VBS is that time of year and when I get to just be with them. Now, years ago I ran the junior camp, and so I'd be at camp, but that's a more exclusive group as well because everybody can't get to camp. But VBS, everybody gets to come to camp and be with the pastor. And so these many years I've been doing, I don't remember how many years, but I've been doing vacation Bible school. And these kids need somebody to point them to Christ, point them to character, to honesty, integrity, simple things. And anyway, if you think of it, I hope you'll pray Saturday and Sunday. Now the vacation Bible school, because of the mileage restrictions on our buses and all, we've shifted VBS. We do Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday evening, then Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and that saves some miles on our buses because Sunday morning we're going to already be running a bus. And so it helps. And also helps some kids get back because Sunday morning is the country store. And so they get, I don't have any of the money with me, but they get Baptist bucks we print up and for doing memory verses and for coming and bringing visitors and all. And then on Sunday they get to go to a store. People donate gifts, and the kids get to buy these things. And we encourage people not to go buy stuff. If they want to, they of course can. But we encourage people just to find things around the house they want to get rid of. And kids love everything. Some a crescent wrench or a pair of pliers or a blender or, whatever. Prefer probably not butcher knives and things, but because the kids take those home with them on the bus or wherever. But the vacation Bible school time, these 5 days, very special days. Sunday's a little different because I don't get to be with the kids in the opening and closing like I normally would. But the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night, and Saturday morning. So tomorrow morning I'll be in the auditorium with the kids and our soul winning. You that are going soul winning, so I encourage you to just go on your own. There'll be a table set up with tracks and things, but a lot of our workers will be already out on the bus routes and running Bible school. But it matters. And if I just want to throw one thought out, the ministry's work, and anything's work. A good marriage is work. Good children are a lot of work. A good job. My parents both owned their own businesses for a while, and they worked tons of hours, but they loved it. They loved doing what they did. And I grew up in a home where we all worked. We loved what we did. And I never heard my parents complaining about long hours or the lack of pay, because when you start your own business, you don't make much money for a while. And I don't know if they ever did make a lot of money. We didn't talk about it. We had food and clothing and a roof over our heads and cars, and what else do you need in life? And then as one by one we got saved, got involved in church, then we got the best of the best to have a relationship with Christ. But the ministry's work, and I put in a lot of hours, and I love it. Wednesday, I have a 3:30 Bible study. I started with COVID just seemed like a good thing, and we started that afternoon Bible study, and it was good for people who don't want to drive after dark. And so Wednesday this week, at my 3:30 Bible study ended about 4:40. 5 o'clock, I started Vacation Bible School. That ended right at 7 on Wednesday night. And then my Wednesday Bible study, I just started right into Wednesday Bible study and toys on the platform. And but that it is work. It's busy and a lot of hours, but it's a wonderful busy. And I mean, I could be a crooked politician or a cheating lawyer. I could be a criminal. I could be homeless picking up cans. Everybody's going to work hard if they're going to get anything done. But I love what I get to do, and I hope you'll have your heart in your church. And if it's a gospel preaching church, if it's a Bible believing church where people are getting saved, baptized, young people being urged to serve God, give yourself to that place. Find a niche, whether it be pulling weeds in the flower bed or working in a nursery, singing in a choir. Get involved. Put your time and heart into something eternal. Carry gospel tracts, pass out tracts. Let's do things that are eternal. But anyway, so that's what Vacation Bible School is. I don't have to do it. I do it because I want to do it, and I love getting to be a part of it. I don't do it as quick as I getting up and down the stairs and things with the kids, but I'm gonna give myself to the work of God as He gives me grace. I want to mention a verse. It's an interesting thing. I was thinking this little phrase. I'm looking here at 453 times this phrase is in the Bible. I'm just going to pick out one right here and then talk about it a little bit. But in Genesis chapter 39, can you think of a phrase, a 4-word phrase that would be used 453 times in the Bible? And I'll read you the verse. In Genesis chapter 39, Joseph's brought down to Egypt to Potiphar, an officer of the Pharaoh, captain of the guard. And in verse 2, it says the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man. So he's a slave, but he's going to be a prosperous slave. The master saw that the Lord was with him, and the Lord made all that he did to prosper in his hand. And what a great passage that is. But here's the phrase. And it came to pass. 5 words. It came to pass, the 4 words. It came to pass after these things, his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph. And of course, she was a forward woman, an immoral woman, a pushy woman. And he was prospering, and it came to pass. And some trials came. And then if you go over to chapter 39 and verse 10, and it came to pass as she spoke to Joseph day by day, the pressure was on. In verse 11, it came to pass about this time, Joseph went into the house, 39:15. It came to pass when he heard that I lifted up my voice. The girl says, he was attacking me. And of course he wasn't. And verse 18, I lifted up my voice. It came to pass. In chapter 40, verse 1, it came to pass after these things. So Joseph's in prison, and by a lying woman, and he gets thrown in prison. This girl, he wouldn't yield to her evil ways, and so she lied about him, and he's in prison, and sitting in jail unjustly. He works hard. The Lord was with him in verse 23, and the Lord made it to prosper everything that he did. And in Genesis 40, and it came to pass after these things. And again, 453 times that phrase, it came to pass. And I just want to tell you, what you're facing, it'll pass. It will come to pass. And when you're in the midst of a trial, it just seems like it is forever. It seems like it's never going to go away. And I have been there, not like many others, but I've had my share of difficulties. And the biggest problem I've ever faced is the biggest problem I've ever faced. Even you may have faced much bigger problems, but the biggest problem I've ever faced was mine, and it was real. But you know what? It came to pass. It comes and then it passes, and it came along and then it went away. And I want to encourage you, what you're facing today, it'll pass. And if you're in the midst of prosperity, it'll come to pass. And if everything's going good, you feel good, family good, home good, business good, it'll pass. And there's going to be a downtime. And if you're in the downtime, it'll come to pass, and you're going to get an uptime, and it'll come back around. And then there'll be a difficult time. Why? Because trials are what God used to teach us. And difficulties draw us near to God. And the hardships that we face, they remind us how frail we are. David said, Lord, make me to know mine end, what it is that I may know how frail I am. The end of my days, that I may know how frail I am. That we get thinking we're so together and we can do anything, and we can't. And I think one of the things that happens when sickness comes, or a child you don't know what to do with, or a marriage problem, you're not sure where to go. I think those are days that help us realize we're frail. We don't have the answers. We can't fix these things. And we're facing this moment of trial, and I don't know what to do with it. And so we're going to face that. And then God gives us good days to remind us that he's good and he's faithful. Now we know he's good. And if we're right with God and close to God, we know he's good when things are bad. We still trust and love God, but we just don't like the circumstance. Now, if you're in the circumstance, you get mad at God, now you got a problem. Don't get bitter at people. Don't get bitter at God. God knows where you are, what you're facing, and he'll see you through. And those trials will make you so useful. Bitterness doesn't make you useful. Selfishness doesn't make you useful. Hatred doesn't make you useful. But struggling in faith, that does. And you unemployed, or, I know there's times I've talked to people. One of our men right now is just he's just renting, and he's got a 60-day notice he needs to move. And people have been good to each other. It's not a problem. It's just that the person renting the house needs it. And a good man is he's under a little pressure to where to go, as a single father, and where do I go, and that kind of thing. And those weigh on your heart, and God's good, but you know what? It will come to pass, and it's going to be okay. And the best thing to me about all of it is the end of the trials of this life. Corrupt government, corrupt, you name it, it's all corrupt, and it'll come to pass. There's a day coming, the trumpet's going to sound, catch us away, we're going to be in heaven. And many of you are like me. I can look back at maybe the more difficult moments in my life, and they're not a big deal anymore. They're gone, they're past, and things are good, and I'm enjoying where I am and love what I'm getting to do. When we get to heaven, it's going to be so good, because it will come to pass. And for one, we're going to get to see the people that have gone on before us, and we'll get to be with those that we love. But someone's giving you a bad time, and like Joseph being harassed by Potiphar's wife, this will come to pass. It will come to pass. Here's a guy, he ends up in prison unjustly, maybe a job loss, maybe a problem, some injustice came along. It'll come to pass. And we can trust God that it's going to be okay. Don't fret. You've got a wonderful Father that loves you and cares about you, and it will come to pass. And if you didn't hear, Tim and Sarah Peterson are here starting a church in the Rialto area is the plan. We're all praying together, but they moved out here, got here with all their stuff on Friday, and had to right away get the ball rolling, and got to unload somewhere. They didn't have a house yet. And we all were praying, and by Tuesday they'd signed papers on a house, and so they've got a house, got moved in on Wednesday, and at least their stuff there, not settled at all, but and now we need a place to rent and start a church, and exciting days, and so one victory at a time. That we're homeless. All right, it came to pass. Now there's a house. Now we need a place to start a church to hold church services and get a place, and one victory after another. God doesn't give us the whole lifetime of victories. He dishes them out like an antibiotic, a little bit here and there. And then in between, he brings some trials to remind us, well, without him, we can't do anything. And I hope you'll pray for Tim and Sarah, the direction as we pray together to start a church, and location and all is just a little bit general. Praying about a place to meet is the main thing. There's sinners everywhere. But our church is going to be very involved. If you're in a part of another church, and you'd like to help with this new church, talk to your pastor and make sure it's okay. See if you can send some money to help support this new church. Maybe your church would want to help. I would rather you not take money and send it to our church if you go to another church. Go through your church and go through your pastor. God may have prospered you for something your church needs and your pastor needs. So always go through your pastor. But if you'd like to help, we'd love to. Mark designation, did electronically or on a written check or whatever. Just mark it a new church, and we'll know what it's for. And oh, it's a great thing to serve God. I love what I get to do. I love my family. Just had my 42nd wedding anniversary this week. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love what I get to do. I love the Lord. I love his book. I love his people. And I am looking forward to tomorrow, to what God has on Saturday morning and Sunday morning. And I'm looking forward to Sunday night if things go like I'm thinking. I'm going to be preaching on perilous times for a little while, and on Sunday nights, I think. And there are perilous times, and they can be a little creepy and intimidating, but oh, God's good, and he'll take care of things. I hope you have a great day, a great Friday, and pray for the weekend. Pray for the soul winning. Pray for the Vacation Bible School, and we got this new bus. We got a few odds and ends have to get taken care of to get it legal in California, paperwork and all, and a couple of mechanical things, very minimal. And then we're going to get that bus running and picking up boys and girls, and that bus will become a great tool for God, because we always need drivers, always need mechanics. And there's some, mechanics don't, a mechanic might think, what can I do for God? You can keep a bus running that'll be responsible for 30 to 50 boys and girls a week being in Sunday school. That's pretty significant. That's a very significant thing. So anyway, let's have a great weekend. Be in church, be in Sunday school, be in Sunday night service. Let's be a part of the great work of God. And whatever it is we're in, it'll come to pass, and it's going to be okay.